Watch Dave Wagner, weeknights on 10 Tampa Bay News.
10 Tampa Bay Plus, streaming live local weather 24/7. Check the radar whenever you want. Catch detailed weather updates all day long. Watch exclusive weather content. Get Weather Impact 24/7 only on 10 Tampa Bay Plus.
We're staying on top of breaking news out of Tampa this morning.
We're staying on top of breaking news out of St. Pete.
A scrapyard fire continues to burn at this hour.
Stream breaking news on 10 Tampa Bay Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free.
Now live on 10 Tampa Bay News. Gasparilla is just days away, but dangerous conditions could disrupt the pirate invasion. Now, city leaders and boaters are sharing safety advice before you hit the water.
A severe water shortage is forcing new restrictions across the Tampa Bay area. What you need to know before the rules take effect.
And rapid growth is crowding Polk County and its schools. Tonight, leaders are considering rezoning high schools. We show you what's on the table.
Streaming live on 10 Tampa Bay Plus. This is 10 Tampa Bay News at 5.
And as we come on air, we are tracking wintry weather right here in the Tampa Bay area. You're watching 10 Tampa Bay News at 5. I'm Frank Wiley.
And I'm Dave Wagner. We're heading into another freezing night around here. Here's a live look over downtown St. Pete. Just about an hour from now, cold weather shelters here and across the area will be opening their doors, offering the people a warm place to stay overnight. You can find a shelter near you right now on 10tampabay.com.
I want to send it over to meteorologist James Gregorio tracking a drop in temperatures tonight, sir.
Frank, Dave, good evening. Yeah, we're talking about, again, that weather impact alert in place here for tomorrow morning and Sunday morning. And we might be adding to this as well. So we've got temperatures that'll dip down into the 30s and even into the upper 20s. You factor in the wind, it's going to feel like it's in the 20s and maybe even the teens as well. So cold temperatures, even colder wind chills. You need to bundle up. Give yourself some extra time tomorrow morning. We are lit up with freeze warnings all the way from South Georgia through northern Florida and down in towards the Bay Area and beyond. So we head down into Sarasota and Manatee County. We still have that freeze warning in place here through tomorrow morning. We'll see if that's reissued again as we head into the weekend. All right, Futurecast kind of telling us as we move in towards tonight at 8:30, our temperatures in the mid 40s. That's colder than where we should be for the overnight low, and that's at 8:30 tonight. So obviously we got a ways to go throughout the overnight hours before that temperature will continue to bottom out, more than likely in the Tampa area into the upper 30s before we start to see those temperatures rise and increase again tomorrow morning. So northerly winds at 11 at 10 o'clock tomorrow morning, still making it feel rather chilly. And we're only going to climb again tomorrow with those high temperatures into the 50s. Back outside we go. It looks fantastic here, but looks can be deceiving. There is certainly a chill. So make sure you throw on the jacket as you make your way out. Over the next several hours, we're talking about that weather impact alert in place here for tomorrow morning. And then as we head in towards, again tomorrow, we'll be dealing with that weather impact alert. We'll talk more about it coming up and get a look at that 7-day forecast. Heading your way, guys.
Meantime, I want to show you this right here. A live look along Bayshore Boulevard in Tampa. Just days from right now, tens of thousands of people dressed in pirate gear expected to flood that area for the Gasparilla Pirate Festival. And this year, that celebration comes with dangerous conditions in the forecast. James just talking about it. City leaders, police, and experienced boaters need you to be careful out there. 10 Tampa Bay News reporter Eric Glasser explains concerns. By the way, a big reminder here, Florida law requires all vessels to have one readily accessible Coast Guard approved life jacket for each person on board. Also, children under 6 must wear a life jacket the whole time.
Right now, a severe water shortage is prompting new water restrictions across the Tampa Bay area. The changes voted on just hours ago affect most of the region. 10 Tampa Bay News reporter Kristen Barbarisi explains what you need to know.
Want to get to some breaking news? This is out of St. Pete, where police are investigating the death of a child. Police say that death of the child happened this afternoon. Investigators say they found the child's body in a home off of Tanglewood Drive Northeast. Officers also finding an injured adult inside that home. Right now, police are calling this suspicious. We'll keep you updated as we learn more details.
You are taking a live look right now at the Howard Franklin Bridge. A heads up for your overnight commute. Tomorrow, southbound lanes will temporarily close Wednesday on the bridge as crews finish work on overhead signs. The closure begins at 11 p.m. Lanes expected to be reopened by 5 a.m. on Thursday.
Right now, the city of St. Pete wants your feedback on its new seawall master plan to protect its shoreline. Right now, You can take that survey. You see it right there on your screen on the city's website is where you can find it. The plan looks to investigate the condition of all city-owned seawalls and map out long-term upgrades to address flooding, erosion, and seawall level rises out there. And residents can also connect to the virtual meetings February 10th and 17th. I'm Mosey, reshaping how kids experience science right here in Tampa Bay.
The museum unveiled a new name centered on innovation and discovery.
There we go, the Museum of Science and Innovation, everybody. Welcome.
The Museum of Science and Industry, now the Museum of Science Innovation, as you heard there, keeping the Mosey name but sharpening its mission. Along with the rebrand comes a new digital content lab, expanding its center for STEAM learning by 30,000 square feet. Adding classrooms, a cooking lab, 3 computer labs, and a maker space that students can learn coding and create immersive 360-degree films designed for giant planetarium domes. It will allow Mosey to serve 4 times as many students each year.
And so we need classroom space to be able to do the kinds of things they can't do back at the school. And that's why, we're offering these kind of programs now on a bigger scale.
Mosey has changed names before, evolving from Science and Natural.
Days who've been stranded in Tampa. They tell us they've had so many changes because of their work week and family plans. But one big change is now officially here for passengers with Southwest. What that is, coming up.
From a hometown hero at the helm of the cruise cleaning up after the pirates, we will show you the final preparations for the Gasparilla Pirate Festival.
We have been tracking travel troubles for days now. Many flyers tell us Tampa's weather isn't the issue. It's the resources making their way down here.
Travel nightmares now cutting into folks' work week, even their family plans, after one of the worst winter storms in years, impacting more than half of the population in the country. And tonight, 10 Tampa Bay News reporter Annie Krall joining us live at Tampa International Airport.
And Annie, how are people keeping their cool in this cold weather?
Dave and Frank, a lot of gratitude to be on any kind of flight at all. We've been speaking with travelers for the last 3 days, and so many of them have had to stay overnight at TPA from anything because of delayed equipment or crews timing out in places like the Midwest or the East Coast. Now, of course, some of the experts who I'm speaking with, they say that they might see some kind of normalcy at some point in TPA by tomorrow or even Thursday. And it's a good thing that so many people are making their way home because the city is expecting 300,000 spectators downtown in Tampa on Saturday for Gasparilla. Reporting live at Tampa International Airport, Annie Krall, 10 Tampa Bay News.
All right, Annie, perfect segue to this. Gasparilla just days away, and a local sports icon going to lead the Pirates charge right here in Tampa. Former Tampa Bay Lightning star Pat Maroon going to serve as Grand Marshal for the Pirate Fest Parade. Maroon won 2 Stanley Cups during his time with the Bolts and still works as an ambassador for the team. So we caught up with him to talk about what this honor means.
I think it's a huge deal to be the Grand Marshal, and it's people that have done something in Tampa or in the area. So for me, it's nice to be a part of it and represent Tampa and the Lightning. So I'm really looking forward to it.
Now, he tells us this will be his first time attending Gasparilla. The fun kicks off this Saturday at 11:30.
It is all hands on deck in Tampa as city crews prepare for the Gasparilla pirate invasion. Today, city departments laid out how they plan to clean up the city once the pirates finish their invasion. Leaders showing off their equipment today. They say cleanup efforts have become faster than ever, shrinking from 18 hours to just about 3. More than 5,000 trash bins will line the 4.5-mile parade route, while sweepers, parks crews, and recycling teams move in immediately after the last pirate passes. Last year, crews collected, get this, 15 tons of trash.
15 tons of trash. Take your mess with you. My goodness. Don't want that in the waters as well.
Yeah, especially, no doubt, especially the plastics, because they just live forever. So we don't want that in any of our waterways.
Well, it's going to be windy, though, isn't it?
It is going to be windy. It's going to be hard to corral the trash and everything else. So let's check out what's happening here, everyone. The Gasparilla forecast here. High temperatures, not very warm, only in the 50s here. So let's go to the maps and we'll go to the wall. And here's the story. Got that weather impact alert in place as well. We'll get to that. But again, Gasparilla, about 54 degrees. The parade starts at about 2 o'clock. So again, following up that wind 2 to 3 feet, moderate chop, none. We had a small craft advisory in place here today. But for tomorrow, we have no advisory, which is in place as well. All right, so expected rainfall about 30% here on Saturday here from Brooksville further southward to Wesley Chapel for Gasparilla. It looks like we are going to see some rain. So unfortunately, we're going to try and get it in and get it out sooner than later. But unfortunately, we're going to have to deal with it at least Saturday morning. Freeze warning in place as we head in towards tomorrow. That's why. And then further to the south, we've got temperatures in the 40s and 50s. South Florida, one of the warmest spots. Actually, Miami is the warmest on the map, warmer than Brownsville at the moment, but it's likely going to change. All right, locally here, Lutz at 52, Zephyr Hills at about 52 as well. As we move further southward, Frostproof at 56, Sebring at about 55. All right, here's the story. Futurecast telling the story as we move in towards midnight. It's 43 degrees, and then as we head towards 4 in the morning, it's 40 and still falling from there. By about 8 o'clock in the morning, we're at 39, and then finally coming back up. But a cold morning tomorrow morning. Make sure the kids are bundled up tomorrow as well as they walk out the door. Make sure they have that jacket on. You're going to have to warm up the car perhaps as well. Hot cup of coffee here, and then don't forget the shades. This is a nice day. High pressure in place, double barrel areas of high pressure, keeping things quiet. But it's cold, and guess what? Likely to get colder as that cold air reloads and sends another lobe in a stretched polar vortex well to the south. And this will kind of move into North Florida on Saturday and then into Sunday as well. Sunday morning, we might actually get some Gulf-enhanced snow showers in towards the Panhandle. I'm sure you've heard of lake effect snow. You ever hear of Gulf effect snow? Same principle. So we'll see if that actually makes the trip into the Panhandle of Florida. That's a big storm system that turns into a nor'easter on the East Coast. All right, so for tonight, 36 going to do it. Clear and cold as we move in towards those overnight low temperatures. Plant City at 34, Brooksville, Dade City at 30, Crystal River 29. That's why we have the weather impact alert in place. Tomorrow, 58 going to do it here. Sunny and cool, if not cold, especially cold early on, and then just becoming cool as the day unwinds. A look at that 7-day forecast here. Friday's the warmest day, trying to get to 65 for Gasparilla on Saturday. 56 going to do it, and then Sunday 48 is that high temperature for the Stadium Series at Ray J. So we got Gasparilla, we got the Stadium Series. Gasparilla, we don't want cold, but I guess for the hockey game, cold is so fitting. 48 degrees for the Stadium Series. That is a look at your weather, gentlemen.
All right, thank you, James. The Buccaneers welcoming Zach Robinson to town today in just 3 minutes. How he plans to make his impact, and we tell you the prominent player who showed up to support the new offensive coordinator.
Watch 10 Tampa Bay this morning, starting at 5 a.m.
Experience is priceless, but there's experience in being a lawyer, and there are life experiences too. You got to have both. There are a lot of good lawyers out there. But the real question is, are they good enough to take time to listen? Are they good enough to treat you with dignity and respect? In other words, are they good enough for you? When we say we're old school, but not old fashioned, we do things in a timeless, classic way that our clients really appreciate. It doesn't get more fairer than that.
I love getting your mornings off to a great start, whether it's answers to your healthcare questions or breaking the news from Hillsborough to Manatee counties and everywhere in between. We've got you covered. Make the move to 10 Tampa Bay News this morning, weekdays live from 5 to 9, anywhere you watch.
All right, I want to welcome you back like this right here. Check this out. This Sunday, outdoor hockey taking over Tampa. Fans have not seen it like this. Yeah, they unfurl it right there. The NHL sharing that full field design of Raymond James Stadium for the Stadium Series. We've been talking about that. It's really rocking with the spirit of Gasparilla, too. You can see it right there with all the detail that they put into it. So we were inside Ray J as crews were making the rendering a reality, from pirate ships and parade floats to a custom treasure map packed with local references. The NHL says this game has been years in the making.
We've got props everywhere. I think we total there's 120 barrels coming. We've got boats coming. We've got a lot of pieces you'll see in the far side of the field behind both benches. It's a shipwreck that will actually be the identifiers of both the Bruins and the Lightning. So we're really leaning into the pirate theme.
My man said we got everything. Puck drops Sunday, 6:30. Tim McGraw will also perform out there. You can still grab tickets for Stadium Series with prices ranging from $257 to just over $1,000.
Yeah, it's bring your own coat, by the way. As for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, they welcomed their new offensive coordinator to town today. Zach Robinson's going to take over the reins of this offense under Todd Bowles. Sports director Evan Klosky joins us now. And Evan, you were at that news conference today? Oh, sorry. Yeah, you were at that. Sorry, I was thinking I was over here. You were at the news conference today. What did we learn about the new coach, huh?
Yeah, it's important to remember he worked with Baker Mayfield in 2022 with the LA Rams, and Baker was in the press conference room today supporting his guys. So he's got the full support of QB1, which is obviously important. He says he got his PhD in coaching football from Sean McVay. He worked under the Super Bowl winning head coach for 5 years. Robinson also added it's an advantage to stay in the NFC South because he knows all the divisional teams well. This job is not a rebuilding project. It's a reclamation project. Robinson wanted this job after things didn't work out in Atlanta, and now he's ready to get to work.
Glazer family, Coach Bowles, Jason Light, they set the table for everything, and the culture just being here a couple days is evident. You see that with the type of players that they bring in, and so that's where it all starts. And obviously, once we put this whole thing together throughout this off season, we get guys in the building, and that's when the real work starts.
Coming up on our streaming show at 6:30, I have a one-on-one conversation with Zach Robinson about what is next for him in Tampa Bay, why some of his tendencies from Atlanta might not carry over to the Buccaneers. You can watch that on our 10 Tampa Bay News app.
Gotta check it out. Coming up at 5:30, President Trump says he will be watching the investigation into Alex Brady's death. Still ahead, the major change in immigration enforcement in Minneapolis.
Florida lawmakers move to arm college employees. We're going to show you the plan advancing in Tallahassee to boost campus security after a deadly shooting.
10 Tampa Bay is sponsored by Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm.
Streaming live on 10 Tampa Bay Plus. This is 10 Tampa Bay News at 5.
So join us here at 10 Tampa Bay News at 5:30. I'm Dave Wagner.
And I'm Frank Wiley, getting you started as we talk about a drop in temperatures yet again tonight. Meteorologist James Gregorio joining us now. And James, below freezing temperatures in some spots.
Yeah, in many locations, Frank. So we're going to be talking about the Nature Coast, especially getting down into the upper 20s. And with the wind, it's going to feel even colder than that. So weather impact alert in place for tomorrow morning, for Sunday morning as well. So that's 2. We might add another as well. And cold temperatures, even colder wind chills. That's going to necessitate all of us to bundle up. And, of course, maybe even warm up the car a little bit before we zoom along to work and school. All right, freeze warning in effect all the way from South Georgia through north and central Florida and further to the south as well. We make our way even into Sarasota and Manatee counties. We've got that freeze warning in effect as well. So as you make your way out tomorrow morning, just a heads up on this. And, it's going to be cold. You got to throw on the jacket, maybe some gloves and a hat as well. Let's roll through how your day unfolds. We begin tonight, and you know what? Still looks okay. 45 at 9 o'clock, getting cold. And then as we head in towards the overnight hours, those temperatures will dip down even more. So as we're waking up, maybe getting up early, 4:30, 5 o'clock. Got to get up early to seize the day, right? And then 39 degrees at 5:10. By 6 o'clock, we're at 38. And then by 7 o'clock, and 8 o'clock, we start to slowly warm things up. By 11 a.m., we're about 50 degrees. That northerly wind is still with us, and that chill is still with us. A few clouds trying to enter the fray, but really that's not the issue tomorrow. So back outside we go now. Looks great. But with that clear sky, those temperatures are really going to drop off tonight as well. Thankfully, the wind stays up, so that would negate a full-on radiational cooling setup, which would kind of make us even colder. We'll talk more about it coming up. Get a look at that 7-day forecast because we've got a few things in it. We've got this little parade invasion thing going on, right, on Saturday. And then on Sunday, we've got a little hockey game, too. So we'll talk about it all coming up.
I heard about that. All right, thank you, James. Rapid growth leading to overcrowding in Polk County schools. 10 Tampa Bay News reporter Angelicia Bruton explaining the school board's plan to ease all of that pressure. Polk County School Board members will vote on a plan to rezone high schools at their board meeting tonight at 6 o'clock.
Developing right now in Arizona, authorities are investigating a shooting involving U.S. Border Patrol. Video here shows the scene. One person is in critical condition. That shooting happened about an hour south of Tucson near the U.S.-Mexico border. The FBI has requested help from the Pima County Sheriff's Department to lead the use of force investigation involving that agent. The department says it's also conducting a parallel investigation. In Minneapolis, the top border official is leaving the city and being sent back to his former role in California after a second U.S. citizen was killed by federal agents this month.
President Trump says he wants to see an honest investigation into the death of Alex Brady. Ian Lee in Minneapolis with what's next. The Department of Homeland Security says ICE agents will go to Italy for the Olympics. A DHS spokesperson says they will be in a security role out there. They won't enforce U.S. immigration laws since they will be in a foreign country. Current and former Italian lawmakers are now urging the prime minister to bar the agents. They point to the recent deadly ICE shootings of 2 U.S. citizens in Minneapolis.
You are looking live inside a Florida Senate committee meeting here. The lawmakers today gavelled in without Senate President Ben Albritton. Albritton remains under medical care tonight after being hospitalized for chest pain. He was first taken to Tallahassee Memorial Hospital on Sunday, where doctors found a small blood clot in his lung. Last night, his office said additional testing later identified a potential abnormality in his heart, prompting doctors to transfer him to a hospital in Gainesville for further evaluation. His office says the move is out of an abundance of caution. The Senate is scheduled to hold a floor session Thursday. If Albritton is unable to attend, Jason Broder, the Senate President pro tem, will preside.
Florida lawmakers today moving forward with a plan to allow college and university employees to become armed school guardians. All of this in direct response to that deadly shooting at Florida State University last April, a student killing 2 people and wounding 5 others when he opened fire on campus. Today, the House Judiciary Committee unanimously approving a plan to arm collegiate employees to help respond to such incidents. State Representative Kevin Chambliss says all schools need to be prepared for active shooters.
This is now all too common of a story. And that we here in Florida, if we're the ones that are taking a step in creating uniformity in this, because it can happen anywhere at any time, I'm proud of that.
The bill would allow colleges and universities to choose to take part in the Guardian program that we're talking about. It would involve employees who receive training and have concealed weapons licenses being able to carry guns on campus. It would also require colleges and universities to take steps such as having active assailant response plans that includes being able to issue campus-wide alerts and certifying that faculty, staff, and students annually receive training to prepare for assailants.
New video just released by police in Indiana shows the arrest of 3 suspects charged in connection with the shooting of a judge and his wife. Lafayette Police Chief Scott Galloway says the arrests were synchronized in a single operation occurring simultaneously in multiple jurisdictions. One suspect was picked up during a traffic stop, another when SWAT teams used a device to break down a door. In all, 5 people were arrested in what authorities say was a targeted attack on Judge Stephen Meyer and his wife at their home on January 18th.
By targeting members of the judiciary, these individuals didn't just attack a person, they attempted to strike the very foundation of our justice system and the safety of our entire community.
The judge and wife are recovering from their injuries. The state Supreme Court appointed a special judge to this case, and arraignments are expected this week. Your bedtime coffee might keep you wide awake. The recall coffee drinkers need to know about.
Google might owe you money. Why the tech giant agreed to a $68 million settlement. Back with breaking news from Pinellas County, where the search for a kayaker reported missing 9 days ago ended tragically. The Pinellas County Sheriff's Office just announcing someone found the body of 18-year-old Elias Guillermo Lero Vargas this morning on Clearwater Beach. He disappeared January 18th while kayaking with 2 other people off Honeymoon Island. Vargas and a teenage woman drifted far from shore and then capsized. Authorities rescued that woman but could not find him. Investigators say his death does not appear suspicious.
A warning tonight for coffee drinkers. Your decaf may not actually be decaf. This is a look at the impacted products right here. The recall affects the 84-count cartons with the UPC number you see on your screen. The FDA says the misclassification could have serious health consequences for people with medical sensitivities or those avoiding stimulants. Customers are urged to stop using the affected pods immediately and check their packaging. If you didn't catch the product code, we've got it posted right now on 10tampabay.com. Keurig Dr. Pepper has issued a voluntary recall for certain McCafe Premium Roast Decaf K-Pod cups after discovering they may contain that caffeine.
United Parcel Service says it plans to cut up to 30,000 jobs this year, all part of a major cost-cutting push. The company's CFO announcing today those reductions will come through attrition and a new voluntary separation program for full-time drivers. UPS also planning to close about 24 facilities in early this year, 2026, expanding automation across its network. Now, the move comes as UPS continues to scale back deliveries from Amazon. It is a change executives say has already saved the company billions of dollars. UPS is retiring its MD-11 cargo planes. All of this happening around the same time, and those are the plans we're talking about right there on your screen. All of this coming 2 months after one of the planes crashed in Kentucky. Video of that incident right there. 15 people killed from that incident. The MD-11s have been grounded at airports, including TPA, since the crash. The planes making up nearly 10% of the UPS fleet.
You may soon be eligible for a payout from Google. The tech giant recently agreed to pay $68 million to settle a class action lawsuit over claims its voice assistant recorded private conversations without users' consent. The lawsuit alleges some Google devices captured audio even when people didn't say, "Hey, Google," including recordings tied to sensitive topics like finances and work conversations. Google denies any wrongdoing here, but if a judge approves that settlement, the money will be placed into a fund to pay consumers and cover legal fees. Eligible users could file claims for up to 3 devices, with payouts depending on how many claims are submitted.
Well, it turns out the price of love is going up this Valentine's Day. The National Retail Federation says Americans expected to spend $29 billion on Valentine's Day gifts. That is the highest total ever recorded. According to the NRF's annual survey, shoppers out there plan to spend nearly $200 each, not just on romantic partners, but also family members, kids, classmates, teachers, and co-workers, and pets as well. So when it comes to gifts, candy tops, the list once again, that's always at the top of the list, followed by flowers, cards, and a night out, of course, jewelry as well.
Millions are picking up the pieces after a massive winter storm. We are tracking the damage and the long recovery now underway across the country.
A critical test for NASA's moon mission set for this weekend on Florida's coast. What its results will mean for the Artemis 2 mission around the moon.
Experience is priceless, but there's experience in being a lawyer, and there are life experiences too. You got to have both. There are a lot of good lawyers out there, but the real question is, are they good enough to take time to listen? Are they good enough to treat you with dignity and respect? In other words, are they good enough for you? When we say we're old school, but not old fashioned, we do things in a timeless, classic way that our clients really appreciate. It doesn't get more fairer than that.
10 Tampa Bay this morning keeps you prepared for whatever the day brings. Working overnight to get you the latest breaking news.
These are live pictures, some video here just into our newsroom.
We are starting to see some slowdowns this morning.
Stay ahead of the storm with weather impact alert days.
And we'll have a higher coverage of showers and storms, the focus mainly along and south of I-4.
Start with the team you trust. Watch 10 Tampa Bay this morning. Weekdays starting at 5 a.m. and streaming on 10 Tampa Bay Plus.
You are looking live over the Hudson River at New York City. Pretty from a distance, but boy, is it cold. This is a view courtesy of Earth. Ferry services were suspended due to thick ice in the East River and the Hudson River as well. Now, New York is just one of several states still dealing with the crippling aftermath of the massive winter storm that dumped snow, ice, and now sub-zero temperatures across much of the country.
A big problem at its peak, the storm knocking out power for more than 1 million electric customers amid bone-chilling cold. And at this hour, crews are still working to restore the power. Ivan Rodriguez is in Nashville, Tennessee, one of the areas dealing with high numbers of power outages.
America is one step closer to its historic mission here to the moon. Today, NASA says it's on track for a critical wet dress rehearsal at Florida's Kennedy Space Center. As early as this Saturday, they will fully fuel the Space Launch System rocket and then practice the launch countdown without liftoff. Images here show the spacecraft and crew part of the final mission here. NASA says the test is designed to make sure the rocket, spacecraft, and ground systems all work together as expected. If that rehearsal goes well, NASA could move towards setting a launch window for Artemis 2 later this year. It could be early in February. If problems are found, the rocket could be rolled back for maintenance, potentially delaying that mission.
Always so neat to hear about that. Sending it over now to meteorologist James Gregorio, a down-to-earth man.
Yeah, we're going to bring it from the stratosphere down into the troposphere, Frank. So the lower level
where it's
of
nice
the
and cold.
Exactly. So, but warmer than way up top. All right, let's check out what's happening here. We're gonna try and focus on terra firma a little bit here. So here's the story. Weather impact alert in place here Wednesday morning, Sunday morning. Impacts obviously the cold temperatures and the even colder feeling wind chills. So you need to bundle up. Make sure the pets are indoors as well. All right, so freeze warning in place here all the way from South Georgia through Florida, most of Florida. So I'd probably say about 2/3 of Florida dealing with those freeze warnings all the way, again, from northern portions down into the Bay Area, Nature Coast, and in our area as well. So it's going to be a cold morning tomorrow morning. Tonight, those temperatures will fall further. We see the numbers dip down by about 4 o'clock in the morning. We're at 40 degrees and going down from there. So by about 8:30, 9 o'clock in the morning, we're still in the upper 30s. So slow roll upwards. Grab that extra cup of coffee. By noontime, we're only about 51, 52 degrees. So still on the chillier side, no doubt. All right, so cold air, a restocking, a refreshing shot, a reloading of cold air on the way as we move in towards the weekend here, just in time for not only Gasparilla, but especially on Sunday. So you can see on Saturday here, again, that we've got that cold Arctic air making a run for Florida and then kind of pivoting through Sunday, driving that freezing line all the way, not only through North Florida, but also through the Bay Area as well. Right now, temperatures are chilly. Apalachicola about 50, Pierre 19 degrees. So really kind of running the gamut. We've got teens and single digits well to the north, but still only low 50s and lower 60s generally through Florida. So, again, not much warmer for us, but certainly not a heat wave. All right, Odessa at 51 right now. Clearwater at 47 degrees, 47 as we make our way further southward towards Seminole as well. So we've got chilly temperatures as we walk out of work as well. Frostproof at 56, Wauchula at about 52. All right, we do have some rain inbound. And this is kind of important for a lot of reasons. So on Saturday, of course, Gasparilla has got a few shower chances. I think the rain is out of here as we move in towards midday and shortly thereafter. So the parade's about 2 o'clock. So that would be good news. But that is the beginning of initiating an area of low pressure that'll more so affect the folks on the East Coast with a nor'easter. So that low travels along the front that brings us the rain. So you see how it's all kind of interconnected. Speaking of Gasparilla, about 54 going to do it. Parade starting at 2. Mainly cloudy, windy. It'll feel cooler than that 54. So all those cute little Gasparilla outfits you bought, you may not be able to use this year. All right, high pressure in place now. Looks great. Nothing to worry about. Even the marine forecast starting to look a little bit better for tomorrow. Northerly winds at 10 to 15. Seas are running at 2 to 3. There are no advisories in place, which is good news. We have that small craft advisory in place today. Tonight, 36 does it clear and cold. Bundle up tomorrow morning. It's cold as we move in towards tomorrow. 58, sunny, cool, good-looking day. We might see 60 maybe in Sebring, Wauchula, perhaps. That's about it. And then a look at that 7-day forecast shapes up like this Thursday and Friday. We've got more widespread lower 60s. And as we move in towards Saturday and Sunday, Saturday 56 going to do it for Gasparilla. Sunday 48 degrees for the Stadium Series, that hockey game at Ray J. So the coldest day we've seen in ages. How fitting for an outdoor hockey game. How perfect did we make that line up, Dave?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Absolutely perfect if you're a hockey fan. Our weather team is keeping you up to date with live streaming shows twice a day. You can catch them every morning at 11:30, then again at 4:30 every afternoon. That is exclusively on the 10 Tampa Bay News app, which is free to download on your streaming devices.
A fun winter activity turns into an embarrassing moment for one cop. How an officer hopping on a sled ended with. From a local water rescue to daring sky-high stunts, right now, I want to show you videos that you really have to see to believe. So first up, I want to show you a quick rescue on the water. This is in Hillsborough County.
I'm not worried about the ski. I'm more worried about you. So we're going to come right to you.
And I'm worried about everybody over there. The Hillsborough County Sheriff's Office just sharing that video. They say deputies sprang into action after an 18-year-old fell off that area right there. The jet ski couldn't get back on because of injuries to his feet. So deputies located him, pulled him to safety, giving him first aid, thankfully.
Wow, a snowy moment in Oklahoma that didn't go exactly as planned. A police officer in Jenkins decided to join in on some sledding, but the ride went sideways when his sled accidentally slid right into a bundled up little girl, and you'll see it right there. Oops.
Oh, no.
The good news here, nobody was hurt. The girl is seeing a follow-up clip doing just fine. Officials say the only real casualty was the officer's pride, which you can understand. All right. Well, coming up next at 6, we have breaking news as police investigate the death of a 4-year-old child. We just spoke with the police chief about what happened and who they think is responsible. We're going to take you out there live. Coming up at 6.